Hello everyone, this is the first lesson recording for March 23rd, 2021. So we started with quiz number 4 on exponential growth and decay. If you missed it for whatever the reason, please contact me as soon as possible to make up the quiz. Alright, then we went on to doing some practice on translating words into inequality. That's Desmos card number 1 to 4. Here we go. So write and sketch an inequality to represent the possible values of each situation. Okay, so the first one is you must be older than 13 to play the basketball league. Okay, so what does that mean? You must be older than 13. So can you be 14? Yes. Can you be 15 to play the basketball? Yes. Can you be 10? No, you cannot. So 13 is the boundary point. And do you need to be bigger than 13, older than 13, or less than? You need to be older. Okay, can you be 13? No, it doesn't say 13 or older, it just says older than 13, so it is greater than. So now that we have x is greater than 13, I type that in, x is greater than 13, and check it, and I get a happy face. That means my inequality is correct. So now I need to graph this. Okay, so I find my boundary point, that's my 13 here, draw my circle around it. Is it going to be open circle or closed circle? Well, this is greater than. If it was greater than and equal to, if there was an equals bar underneath, then it will be closed. But since it is not, then it is going to be open circle. And then we are looking at pointing to the right. So we are shading to the right like so. Okay, what about next one? The movie will be no more than 100 minutes in length. So we're talking about something to do with 100. Okay, so will be no more than. Can it be equal to 100 minutes? Yes, it can be equal to. No more than. Can it be 110 minutes? No. It says no more than, that means it's less than 100. So we're going to use equal and less than. That means we're going to use the inequality less than or equal to. Okay, so I type in my less than or equal to. So x is less than. And if I type in equal sign right now, it's going to change that into less than and equal to. And then 100. And then I check it. And it's going to give me happy face. If my inequality is incorrect, I am going to get a sad face so that you know that you're not doing it correctly. So I need to graph it now. I find my inequality 100, the boundary point of 100. The inequality is less than or equal to. Because of this equal sign, the bar underneath, this is going to be a closed circle. And look at the inequality shade pointing to the left, so I'm going to be shading to the left, like so. Next, write and sketch the inequality. Same thing. A mountain is at least 985 feet tall. So mountain is something to do with 985. So when it says at least means it can be that number, but it has to be more than that number or that number. So that means x is either the same as in equal, or it is more than or greater than. So I type that in. In fact, I'm not going to bother. Okay, I know it's correct. So 985. 985 is right here. And because of this equal sign bar, it's going to be shaded. And notice the inequality sign is to the right. But make sure that when you are using this method of looking at where the inequality is pointing to, make sure your variable is on the left, followed by inequality and then the number. Next, you must be over 48 inches to ride the roller coaster. So you put something to do with 48. You must be over. That means you need to be bigger than 48 inches, right? So x whatever the value your height is, you have to be bigger than 48. Can you be 48 inches? Is that equals? No, it just says over. That means you cannot be even 48 inches. You need to be bigger than 48. So I find my 48 here, open circle, because it's greater than, and then pointing to the right, shading to the right. Okay, next, swim practice will be no more than 35 laps. Okay, no more means it can be equal to 35, that's okay. But no more means it will not be more than that, that means it will be less than that. So x will be less than 35, or it could also be equal. So it's x is less than or equal to 35. So find my 35. Because of the bar, it could be equal to, I'm going to shade that in, and inequality is pointing to the left. Next, more than 800 fans attended the opening soccer game. More than 800. Okay, so is the number going to be bigger than 800 or smaller? That's bigger, so it's greater than. Okay, so can it be 800? No, it didn't say. It said more than, not equal or more than. So it is going to be greater than only. So find my boundary point 800, and x is bigger than 800. Okay. All right. So what does it mean when we are shading? That means the number of spectators, fans, could be like 820, 802, 805, or like a lot more, 810. That's all acceptable. But if it was 798 or 700 or whatever, that is not a solution. That is not acceptable to this statement. Likewise here. So that means here the swim practice will be no more than 35 laps. That means the swim practice could be like 33 laps or 31 laps or even 34.5 laps or even 35 laps. However, it will not be 35.5 laps or 36 laps or 40 laps or whatever. That's what this means. Okay, you can only spend at most $50 at the mall. Does that mean I can spend $50? It says at most. That means yes, I can spend $50 exactly. At most means I cannot spend any more than $50. That means I need to spend less than $50. So whatever I'm spending is less. So smaller than 50. So but it is also equal to, because I am allowed to spend $50. So find my boundary point of 50. It's going to be shaded in because it's less than or equal to. The equal sign means it's going to be colored in. And then look at the boundary, the shading. Okay, it's pointing to the left, so we're going to shade to the left. That means I can spend $47, $46, or $49, but I'm not allowed to spend $52 or $55 and so on. Okay, what about this? The speed limit on the highway is 65 miles per hour. That means, can I go at 70 miles? No, I shouldn't. I'll get a ticket. That means, can I go at 60 miles? Yes. So that means whatever speed I need to be, it needs to be less than 65. Okay, can it be 65? Will I get a ticket if I go at 65? No, because it can be equal to, so it's going to be x is less than or equal to 65. So find my boundary point of 65, color it in, and inequality symbol is pointing to the left. Okay, and just to confirm, that means I can drive at 60 miles, 61, or anywhere along here or below, but I should not be driving at 66, 70 or whatever, because I could get a ticket. So summarizing the Desmos activity, the symbols for inequality are here. It's read as is less than, is greater than, or is less than or equal to, or is greater than or equal to. Some of the key words you might see in English that describes less than is like below, under, or fewer. For greater than, you might see it as above or more. Or for less than or equal to, at most or at or below. or greater than or equal to is at least or at or above. Alright, so then we are going to be exploring inequality symbol. We're going to be looking at what happens to inequality symbol when we add positive and negative numbers, or subtract positive and negative numbers, or multiply positive and negative numbers and divide positive and negative numbers. So that's card number 5 to 8 of Desmos. Here we go. Okay, so how do we do this? So you are starting with 3 and 9, comparing 3 and 9, which is the bigger number? 9 is a bigger number, so the alligator mouth is going to be opening to the bigger number, so that's 9. Okay, now we're going to be adding the same numbers to both sides of the inequality, and we're going to see what happens. If I add 1 to 3, what happens to that number? The number is 4. If I add 1 to 9, that becomes 10. So here we just added the same number to both sides. What happens to inequality? Which is the bigger number, 4 or 10? 10 is the bigger number, right? What if we added 2 to the 3? Okay, so that becomes 5. If I added 2 to 9, that becomes 11. Which is the bigger number? 11 is the bigger number, so alligator mouth opens to the right. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 9 plus 3 is 12. Which is the bigger number? 12 is the bigger number. Okay, so look what happens when you're adding the same number to each side. Okay, the inequality sign is preserved. What if we added a negative number? Okay, so adding a negative number is like subtracting. 3 minus 1 is 2, and 9 minus 1 is 8. Which is the bigger number? 8 is the bigger number. 3 plus minus 2 is like 3 minus 2, which is 1. 9 plus minus 2 is like 9 minus 2, so that's 7. Which is the big number? 7. 3 plus negative 3 is like subtracting 3, so that becomes 0. 9 plus negative 3 is like just subtracting 3 from 9, so that is 6, and the bigger number again is 6. So when we add same number to both sides of the inequality, the inequality symbol got preserved. It stayed opening to the right all the way, opening to the right all the way. Okay, let's try what happens when we subtract the same number to inequality. Okay, so if I subtracted 1 to both sides of the inequality, we started off with 3 is less than 9. Okay, so but 3 minus 1 is 2. Oops. And 9 minus 1 is 8. Which is the bigger number? 8 is the bigger number. What's 3 minus 2? That's 1. What's 9 minus 2? It's 7. Which is the bigger number? 7 is the bigger number. 3 minus 3 is 0. 9 minus 3 is 6. Which is the bigger number? 6. Notice the inequality stayed opening to the right when we subtracted the same number from both sides. What if we subtract the same number, subtract negative number? Okay, 3 minus 1 is same as 3 plus 1. That's 4. 9 minus 1 is same as 9 plus 1. That's 10. Again, the inequality opens to the right. 3 minus 2 is like adding a 2. And 9 minus 2 is like adding a 2, so that's 11. And inequality opens to the right, and similarly inequality opens to the right. So when we subtract positive or negative number, it does not matter, the inequality stays the same. Okay, let's try multiplying. Okay, 3 times 1 is 3. 9 times 1 is 9. If I multiply by positive number, again 9 is a bigger number, it did not change. So 6 and 18. Again, 18 is a bigger number, 3, 9, and 27. 27 is a bigger number. Notice the inequality sign did not change when you multiply both sides by positive number. But look what happens when you multiply a negative number. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. Between these two numbers, which is the bigger number or more positive number? It's negative 3. Notice what happens to the inequality sign. It gets flipped. That is the same with the other